Hi. Well, in my last video, I spoke about how the over 75s could avoid paying a TV license fee, which they're now going to have to face in the coming year because the BBC, in their wisdom, have withdrawn the free TV licensing for the over 75s. And since this video was broadcast, I've been asked by a few people how they could possibly take advantage of the loophole. So in this video, I'm going to discuss just that. So, if you want to watch TV and enjoy the programs which are being broadcast by anything other than the BBC, you can do this quite freely without having to pay a TV license fee. And the way to do this is simple. All you need to do is make sure that you don't watch any live TV whatsoever. And as long as you don't do this and you don't watch anything on BBC iPlayer, which is the streaming service, which the catch-up service which they provide, then you can quite legally do this without actually having to pay a TV license fee. Now, under Section 4 of the 2003 Telecommunications Act, the BBC actually detail this in more specifically for people. And in fact, they're shooting themselves in the foot by doing so. Because in this particular section of the Act, they explain that you can have TV receiving equipment in your house, but as long as you don't watch anything live, and that includes live streaming on the internet or any live satellite channels, even from outside the UK, and as long as you don't watch anything on their catch-up service, which is BBC iPlayer, you don't particularly need a TV license. So what do you do if any of these TV licensing officers come to your house and they try to make out that you need a TV license? Well, all you have to say to them is this: that you don't watch anything live on TV or on the internet, including live streams, and you don't watch anything on BBC iPlayer. And that's it. Don't have to explain yourself any further. Now, if they further insist that they need to see the equipment or anything like that, you don't need to let them in, because in fact they're not actually BBC employees. They work for a different company, so they have no actual right to actually enter your premises anyway. But the thing is, you don't actually have to tell them any lies. Don't say to them that you haven't got any TV equipment in the house. Example, iPhones or Samsung phones or whatever phone you might have, and or laptops or televisions. Don't fall for that, because as soon as you say that you've got TV receiving equipment, they will automatically assume that you must be having watching live TV. So what you say to them is this: you don't watch any live TV programs, you don't watch any live streaming on the internet, and you don't watch any BBC iPlayer programs. And if you say this, you just simply shut the door on them. Now, you're going to get letters through the door, you're going to have hassle from time to time from the licensing department of the BBC, but you just need to stick to your guns, because there's no way that they can prove that you are watching anything other than catch-up TV for any other channel apart from the BBC. And as long as you stick to that, you've got no problems whatsoever. Now, they can threaten you with court action, etc., etc. And don't be daunted by this. Don't be intimidated by it. Just say simply, okay, we'll take it to court. Because the burden of proof is on them, not you. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to prove that you are not watching any live TV. You don't need to prove that you're not watching anything streamed live on the internet. It's up to them to prove that you are. That's the way the law works in this country. The burden of proof rests upon the accuser. So that's it. And as long as you stick to those rules, just boycott BBC. You don't have to actually watch BBC. And if they're willing to threaten you with all these with court action and massive fines, then just don't watch BBC in any shape or form, because there's plenty of other stuff. And as far as catch-up TV on ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5, and Netflix, UTV, and all the other streaming services, as long as you're not watching live TV, you're fine. So don't worry about it, and do not be intimidated by these people coming to your door. Just tell them to go away politely, shut the door, and ignore them. And in fact, there are ways in which you can withdraw the implied right of entry. And if you do this, you can actually tell them to go away, not come back again. And if they continue to do this on more than 2 occasions, you can then make an application for harassment by them. Because it's the only service which I know of where they make the implication that you must be watching TV live, you must be watching BBC, they want you to have a TV license, and they do this without any proof whatsoever. You don't have to actually prove that you're not watching anything other than catch-up TV or anything like that. It's like having a car, for instance. You don't actually have to have a road fund license fee or insurance for the vehicle if you're not actually using that vehicle on the road. So why would anybody presume that just because you've got a TV or a laptop in your possession at home that you need to have a TV license? They just presume that you must be watching live TV or you must be watching catch-up television on BBC iPlayer. It's an absolute farce. So, just to recap, if you don't watch live TV, you don't watch streamed programs on the internet, you don't watch BBC iPlayer, then you do not need a license. And again, if you want to do those things, I'm not endorsing that whatsoever. If you wanted to do those, then the onus is upon you. You will actually have to have a TV license if you want to do those things. I'm not asking anyone to break the law whatsoever. But I will say something before I go, is the burden of proof is upon them. You are innocent unless they can prove that you're guilty of doing that. So there we are. So don't watch BBC, don't watch any live TV, don't watch anything on BBC iPlayer, and you can be free of the TV license forever. That's it. So take care, and I'll see you again soon.